All right, welcome to the It's Rare podcast, everybody. We have a very special guest, Melisa Orduy, and Marianne and Flat Marianne in the same place at the same time. So you know she's not Batman.
Yes.
Melisa, have you heard our song yet?
I don't think so. I don't think you ever played it for me.
Okay, so I'm gonna play the song, and then afterwards we'll have a nice chat and catch up.
Okay, sounds good.
Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. Come fill your time. This pod's for all. From the Finger Lakes, join in the call. Learn something new about the Cuca Trail. Upstate New York, every episode I tell. Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. It's rare.
That is so great. Did you have that composed?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Isn't that crazy?
It's awesome.
So, my good friend Kyle Fitzpatrick, just he listens to the podcast a lot, and I said something about wanting to find somebody to write a little, just like a 2-second intake kind of thing, and he's like, "Oh no, just give me like 5 minutes with my guitar," and he wrote that night and sent it to me.
So talented.
Yeah,
so talented.
Cool. So how are you doing? First off, hold on. This is Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
Marianne. This is Melisa.
Melisa.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. This is like the first week where I haven't worked at least 60 hours. So I am finally getting back to like a normal sleep schedule. It's so weird because before it would be like 7:30 and I'm like on the weekend, nothing. I couldn't even sleep in a little bit. So now I'm finally like starting to feel like myself again.
Nice.
Are you in Texas right now, or?
No, I'm in Tampa. I might go to Texas. I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of like going with the flow right now. I would like to stay in Florida just because it's home, and I've kind of heard some horror stories in Texas. So kind of trying to stay out of there, but we'll see what happens.
So we should pause for a second and tell everybody what we're talking about.
Right.
So Melisa and I became fast friends in New York City when we were working together in this quarantine facility. And she went straight back to Tampa and started working there. Mm-hmm. Can you give us the update from there? What's been going on? So she's an RN, by the way. Lovely RN.
Yes. So I came back and I picked up another contract right here, like 30 minutes away from my house. It was awesome. And it was just testing because the state pushed a big initiative to test as much as possible. It was all free. So we would have like lines wrapped around for hours. We would run out of swabs because there were so many people. It was like a 3-4 hour wait. And it started dwindling down a little bit, but
was it not free before?
No, I don't think so. Not at first. And I think it was very hard to get tested at first because the tests weren't as accurate. They didn't have enough. You had to meet a specific criteria to be able to get tested.
Right.
And then finally they like kind of opened it up to the public, which is also why you saw our numbers spike so much, was because everyone was getting tested, and some people were getting retested because they needed 2 negative tests to go back to work. Right. And they were getting counted as like double cases. So they had some things that they had to work out in the testing in that area.
So the numbers in Florida, have they decreased, or is it still like a hot spot down there?
I don't know if it's considered a hot spot, but they have decreased drastically because I think we actually beat out New York numbers. We were at like 10,000 a day, 12,000. One day we had 15. And then I think right now we're like at 3 or 4,000 daily that we're seeing.
Yes, whenever Cuomo says they're a hot state,
Jesus Christ,
then it's a
real piece of work. Real piece of work.
I mean, and I look at New York numbers and you guys are staying pretty good, but do you think it's because you haven't had a spike, or is it because New York's not testing?
New York. I don't think that people are going to get I don't know how many tests they've done. I don't know what percentage are coming back at any rate. But
I get the email from the Cuomo's committee, and they're still doing tests.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of tests, and the number has been just so low. It's been pretty good.
I think people are a little bit less freaked out than they have been.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that has an effect. Is Ruth here?
Yeah.
Is she?
She is. I'll go.
Are you sure it's her?
Ruth?
It's Ruth.
You better go check.
I'm gonna check.
It's not
We should
random.
lock the front door.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, it sounds like
We should
Ruth.
lock the
It sounds
front door
like, it
when
sounds
we're
like
down here.
they're messing with the Lakers.
Very
Oh,
safe.
yeah. Try spicing it up or something.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Cool.
we've got a coffee delivery coming. From,
It's okay.
we got coffee for 2 out of the 3, but
So
Marianne
how
was a
much does
surprise.
your last name get botched? Does that?
Oh my gosh. I think maybe one person has gotten it right on the first try.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was when I said it, and then I in my head, and then I heard Phil say, "I was like, oh shit, I'm not even like close." Like,
How did you think it was Orday? I get Orday a lot.
yeah, that's how I was saying.
There's no
Orday.
A.
I don't know. Yeah.
Where does the A
or
come from?
Ordui, or how do you say it? How do you say it?
Or
How do you
Dewey.
say it? Ordui.
Or Dewey.
Oh, no, or Dewey.
Or Dewey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I don't know.
Just how it's spelled.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, it's rare. It's probably technically supposed to be pronounced Rahr.
You can piss off with what you think is technical.
Right. Right. So, I mean, it's just like, you know,
Technically, you should pronounce it correctly.
Funny enough, though, every time I see your last name, I have to like take a second. I'm like, Rahr. No, it's rare. Okay. And then,
right.
There you go.
Right.
I don't know. I think Rahr is pretty awesome, though. I would lie and say it's Rahr. Well, rare is pretty awesome, too, though.
Yeah. Either
You
way.
know, it just depends on the night, I guess. Sometimes I let them roll with Rahr.
Oh, man. This coffee
I want an iconic last name like that, because you could have like a label just rare or
Yeah.
rare. It's just so cool. I can't do that. Your mug, I love it. I want one.
I'll send you the supplies. It's just a sticker.
This 2-in-1 mug.
It's
that
the new
fits-
sticker.
It fits the like top. It's pretty impressive.
Do you think it'll keep it warmer?
I don't know.
I don't know. These cups really transmit heat
Yeah.
fast.
The whole time you were talking in the beginning of the show, I was petting Marianne's hair behind you. I hope you know that the flat Marianne.
It is creepy.
It is creepy, isn't
It's
it?
creepy. So have you heard anything from any of our Boo crew?
Yes. So I don't know if they know about the Boo crew. We have one Jamaican queen, Marlene, who calls everyone Boo. So
Damn, Boo.
shout out to Marlene. She's like, hey, Boo. What's up, Boo? And she's so funny. I miss her. She's in Texas. She's been there, I want to say, maybe a month now. Trish is in Texas. They're in different areas, though.
Okay.
Trish is in San Antonio. Marlene is in Brownsville. I don't know where that is. And a couple of our other nurses are on the border, too.
Oh,
Most of them are on the border. Yeah.
And that's is that COVID down there on the border?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are they all doing COVID?
They're all doing COVID crisis contracts with the same agency, and it just a little more scary because I guess like a lot of these border towns are run by the cartels, so they're like not allowed out of their hotel too much, or they have to be very careful. So it's definitely
That's got to be stressful. I mean, and that was kind of part of my experience in New York City, was that, and sounds like a continued experience for them, was that the most stressful part was supposed to be this pandemic. And that was like fourth on the list of things that were stressful. There were always things that were more stressful than the actual virus that was killing people.
I feel like you were mostly stressed out with like your hotel situation. You're always so stressed.
Every week. Yeah. I mean, and they botched that.
Yeah.
The people that were in charge of that should be ashamed of themselves. Ashamed. And, you know, if I did my job the way they do their job, I wouldn't have a job. So I'll just say that. But yeah, the hotel situation was bad. I mean, everybody had to adapt to just changing guidelines every day. That was just that happened all over the country and continues to happen. And then, of course, when the protests all kicked up, that was pretty stressful.
It was definitely like what a time to be in New York, because we stayed at the New Yorker, so you would have them like, you would hear them like come in like a swarm of bees, like, "Wah," and then just like go out.
Right, because you were still living down by Times Square at that time. What was that like?
Okay, no, it was actually worse. We were in the middle of moving from Times Square to the New Yorker, which is a couple blocks away anyways. So we were trying to put all of our gear into these big buses to move. And all the while people are walking around us, they're throwing like over like the plants and holding up signs. And I wasn't as nervous. It was we caught like the tail end of it. And then we moved, and then like later that night, you heard them come through again through the streets for a few nights actually, and just the sirens going off, and yeah, it was very hectic. My parents were mostly scared. They were like, "Are you okay? Like, are the rides okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't leave the hotel really."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was no time really to leave the hotel by the time you get there. I mean, it's like a 13-hour day at the place, and then. What was your travel time? It must have been 30 to 45 minutes.
Well, at first it was 20 minutes, and then we almost fell off the bridge. So,
oh, you gotta tell that story.
So, okay, should I tell that story? That's a funny story.
You have to tell that story.
Sounds like a good story.
So, everyone was from out of town. No one was from New York, I guess, including these bus drivers that were driving these huge mega buses.
And they weren't real bus drivers, right?
No. So one of them was like an accountant, and I don't know if maybe they like quickly got their CDL license, because I think you have to have a specific license to drive those things. I'm not sure.
They do. You're
yes.
supposed to.
Yeah. So I don't know if they like bypassed it or they got it real quick, or I don't know. But anyways, it was this like really sweet Asian man, and the normal route we took was closed off, not sure why. So he decided to take a different route. And I should have known, because we go on this ramp and he's like squeezing through and like going like 1 mile an hour. And I don't know anything about New York. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is what happens when you don't have like proper streets. And all of a sudden, like he starts slowing down because he's on what we thought at the time, the bike lane. And so then like we had a girl on the bus and she starts panicking, like screaming at the top of her lungs, and so she throws everyone off and she's like, "We're gonna die." And I've always wondered what it's like when people know they're gonna die in the moments before, and that was definitely it. Everyone was like in a panic. They all were screaming, and then like I look over through the window and it's like this little railing and water. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like my worry wasn't that he wasn't going to make it through, but if the bridge would support the weight. And I was like, stop screaming at him. Like, he's driving, you're freaking him out. And I'm telling this girl, like, I'm like,
you're not helping.
Are you calmly saying this, or you're like, girls, stop it right now? You're freaking everybody
I was trying to be empathetic, because having a full blown panic attack. So I'm like, put your head between your like legs, like just breathe, you're gonna pass out or something. And then the girls in the back are like, stop the bus, I'm getting off. So the bus driver doesn't know what to do. He slams on the brakes, he opens the door, and there's no way you could get out, you would fall. So like they all try to get out and they're like, okay, no, just kidding. And so I'm like, me and Ian were like, you guys need to calm down. Like, you need to let him drive through this. And there was these like poles that he almost didn't squeeze under. And we finally got through, and everyone like ran out of the bus, like crying, like we almost died. One of the girls was like, I thought coronavirus was going to kill me, not this. Like, it was.
There you go.
Something. So
another thing on the list that's more scary than coronavirus.
So what happened to the accountant driver afterwards?
Oh my gosh. I've
Well,
never saw him again, so I think he lost his job, unfortunately. I feel bad for him.
So
wasn't
sad.
there on that was the day that you guys were all like 3 hours late. And wasn't there like
An
a
accident.
dump truck that flipped over? Like as soon as you got off the bridge and through that situation, then there was a dump truck on its side.
Yeah. Literally, you got off the ramp and then you went down and it was like completely turned over. So, which is also why we like ran out. And I think we were stuck for like an hour and 45 minutes. And then another bus came to pick us up because, I mean, that dump truck was probably there for like 5 more hours. So yeah, we were late that day.
That was wild.
Poor night shift.
And then I believe one of our lovely nurses from Michigan lit that guy up, lit that bus driver up.
Yeah, and she's a sweetheart, but she was very like frustrated, and she was very mean to him in that moment. She was like, well, she said some words we won't use.
She said things.
Things like you didn't think would come out of this woman's mouth.
No, we knew.
Oh,
Very much like her personality, yeah. But
She was an open book. We knew. Like, we knew what we were doing with her.
she
it's
is
a
a
great
great.
experience.
Oh, that sounds
It was
Great
wild.
experience.
You didn't talk
That was
about this when you
wild.
came back.
Well, I didn't have to deal with the bus.
Mm.
I had to deal with driving through New York City. Did I tell you, Melissa, about what happened with the car when I was there? So I was like, I started to hear a rattle, and then I was driving back to Brooklyn. I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and I was driving from our place in Queens back to Brooklyn, and all of a sudden, that rattle, I start to hear a scrape, and it's the heat shield from the exhaust had fallen down, and it was dragging on the pavement. And so I kind of just like gave it a little blip to see if I could get it to bounce back up on top.
Oh, good
And it
thinking.
kind of did for a little bit, and it just like was and I had no place to go. I couldn't get off the highway and handle it.
Mhm.
And if I did, it would have been hot.
Right.
You can't touch it.
So I couldn't touch it. So I kind of limped it back, and I drove like 6 miles with that condition and passed a lot of police and stuff. And then I parked it, and I got up at 5 o'clock the next morning to make sure that I had enough time to get it out. It took me like two seconds, but
Wow.
it was like, that
That's
was super stressful.
It's embarrassing too.
It's
when
super
you got
embarrassing.
Something like that happen.
I
and
drove
everyone's
past a
staring at
lot
you.
of human beings in New
Yeah.
York City.
It's like, look at this loser with his.
And it's like,
Was
like
it-
super
car.
loud.
Was anyone like judging you? You think?
Yeah,
Or-
of course.
Yeah,
There's,
I don't
it-
know.
there's something
There were
scraping on the
people, like,
pavement.
Everybody stopped on the street. They're like, what the fuck is this? It was crazy.
Some hillbilly from
I
upper
don't
New York State.
know.
I'm just glad I don't have to eat box lunches anymore.
There you go.
Oh, okay. But the funny thing is that our facility actually had decent food compared to the other one. They
yeah.
had terrible food, like prison food. So I don't know. I felt pretty blessed being there because I had definitely had the other food.
Yeah.
And it was like the breakfast was a banana, a muffin, and a boiled egg.
Because you'd been at the other place for a
Mhm.
while.
Yeah.
How long were you at the other place?
I think like a month and a half.
Oh, okay. That was a while, yeah. Yeah, and then I remember somebody said, "Oh yeah, Melissa's coming over tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, who's Melissa?" And then I met you, and I was like, "Oh man, this is way better." No, I mean everybody there was great, but we enjoyed our days when we were together.
Yes, we did. At the funny enough, though, the first day I met you, it was like it was with that CNA who was a little bonkers. And
Which one?
Yeah.
There were a
Any
couple.
names?
Italian.
Was she older?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to say her name. I feel bad.
No, don't say.
Probably
You don't
don't do
have
that.
to. You don't have to.
But
Yeah.
like I've never seen Phil, and also I met Phil barefaced, so he looks very different, and so
You're still traumatized by that.
Yeah, it was bad.
so
Do you recognize me better now?
yeah, there you go. That's the Phil I met. But anyways, like this lady was just like off the walls. She had this like N95 that was like orange and like
Oh, yeah.
it was so dirty. She probably had it for like a month and a half. And then like I don't know if you've ever worked with Phil. He's very particular on his infection control and sanitizing everything, and he was very good at that. So he was just like freaking out because this lady was like not paying attention to needing to sanitize before she touched a specific.
She completely contaminated our clean room.
Yeah, our clean room, exactly. And you were freaking out. And then also, like, I have a different approach on those things. I'm like, I sanitize my area, I sanitize my hands. So it's like, regardless of what you do, I'm good, you know? Right. So I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I think he's like a little, like, he has like a stick up his butt or something. And then I actually got to talk to him, like, wow, that's pretty great. Yeah, it was funny.
That lady, so part of the thing with that lady wasn't even just her infection control was atrocious, but that she was so high strung. And like when she walked in, I was already up on the floor, and I'm just standing there waiting for all the shift change stuff to happen. And she comes over to me and just asks me 12 questions about what she should do before I even got to take another breath. And I was like, do I look like I'm in charge? Like, do I seem like I'm in charge? I'm not in charge of anything. And she was like, well, yeah, you do, actually. It's like, all right, well.
You probably should have been in charge, Phil.
No comment, I guess.
You would have whipped that place into shape, I think.
I probably might have done some things a little different, but that's, anyway. That would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the thing that would have sucked about it is I wouldn't have gotten to spend as much time up on the floors doing what we were doing. So would have been a trade-off.
I agree. I think that was actually my favorite part of like going to New York was the people that I met.
Absolutely. I mean, I keep trying to explain to everybody, and it's hard to really get across how great the people were there. And when I describe what we did, everybody says, "Oh, well, what do you mean you were in New York City helping? What do you mean? What were you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I was working in a quarantine facility." But what were you doing there?
Yeah.
And I just said, look, it wasn't
where you thought
like we weren't doing anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was simple stuff. But on the other hand, we had really great people from all over the place there who, when they asked for help, showed up to help, and none of them knew if they're going to go home or not.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think everyone went to New York like thinking that they were going to go in the trenches and just be exhausted. I wasn't really afraid of that, and I wasn't afraid of getting sick. I was afraid of getting traumatized. Mm-hmm. So I feel very blessed. There's definitely some nurses that walked out of New York City like traumatized, and a couple of them are in therapy now. I still keep up with a few of them. It was really some graphic things to be seen. So I'm really happy that that wasn't my experience. But and also that we had like the time to talk and really get to know each other. And I think that's why like everyone grew so close.
Yeah. As like a family, a very dysfunctional family.
Boo crew. Mm-hmm.
The Boo crew.
Well, it sounds like y'all need to.
It was awesome. Oh,
wait,
there's going to be a
Melissa's the one
sure.
who calls you Boo. Was that?
We all call each other Boo.
Oh, because like Phil comes back, he's calling everyone Boo, and I'm like, what are you doing? Did I miss something?
Damn, Boo.
But I'm just like, why are you saying Boo? Is this? I'm so confused.
I think you're
calling you Boo. Should I? How do I boo
when
you?
somebody like me calls you Boo, it just kind of like lowers it just like it drops the guard a little bit, I think.
It was definitely like, okay.
Does it raise it? Does it raise it?
For me, it does.
I was confused.
Yeah. Feel.
But I was cool. I'm cool with it
Sorry,
though.
Boo.
I like it.
No.
Sorry, Boo.
You don't like it?
It doesn't work for Phil.
I kind of like it.
And the funny enough, though, Marlene is the one. You were getting your coffee, so we have this nurse named Marlene, who's the one who created the Boo crew. I guess she calls everyone Boo, and she uses that as like a de-escalation tool. She's like, no one gets offended when you call them Boo. So if they're like annoying me, I'm like, yeah, Boo, relax, Boo. And they're
so true, because when you said that to me, I was like, "Oh, you're like one of my girls." Okay, I like that. It was cool.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt.
Who else? You know who was really good at de-escalation? That like some days I liked it, and some days I was like, "Man, I wish that we could have a different kind of conversation." Was the charge nurse? Was also a psych nurse, And so when we'd have patients that were difficult, she'd come up and she'd have these conversations with them, and they would just change. And I'd be like, we're not going to do the thing. Like, are we really going to do what she just said? But then they would completely just change their attitude.
Their guards were lowered then? Is that what you
I
mean?
think so.
So because
yeah.
when they walked in, they were really intense. They don't know
Oh,
what they're
yeah.
walking into.
Yeah.
So she was, or he was,
She was
the one that was the best one.
Yeah. She'd be like, you know what? We'll talk about that. We'll see what we can do for you. But why don't you just like take a shower and get into some fresh clothes, and then we'll try to sort that all out in an hour. And then they'd spend 2 weeks there and be happy by the end of it.
Oh, how nice.
And sometimes just like getting people over that hump of relaxing them, I think makes a big difference once they just kind of get into the flow of it.
You're trying to build trust.
Yeah.
In a really intense environment and situation.
Yeah. Well, and they're going see the problem. Melissa can attest to this, but I think a big problem with the way that facility was run, and some people would disagree with me on this, but that the patients didn't know what they were coming into.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, and in addition to that, the facility was completely underutilized because people didn't know what it was. Mm-hmm. So the patients that came in there, they were sent there because they needed to quarantine or isolate for some reason. Okay. And they just they'd give them, I guess, a phone number or something. I'm not even sure how they got connected, but then they'd just pick them up in a cab from anywhere in the city. Mm-hmm. And they'd bring them to the hotel, and they'd get, they'd do a little bit of like brief stuff in the lobby, and then they'd get into their room. And that was kind of the first time that they heard kind of what the entire program was about, is when they were already in the facility.
Yeah, I think it was a hotline, I think, that they called into.
Yeah.
And the big disconnect is I don't think that people know what quarantine means, that you can't leave your room. So people would show up with like bottles of liquor thinking it's like, ooh, free hotel, 2 weeks. Like
rehab.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. The different stuff that people showed up with. Was
drugs. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff, and we'd have to search their stuff and make sure that none of that was coming into the facility. It was definitely interesting, and then they would be upset that they couldn't leave their room. And I think like one of the things that I found and I was shocked by is how like a gold cage is still a cage, and how like we had a big homeless population come in and quarantine with us, and you would think like, oh my gosh, they're gonna love this internet. Fresh shower, new clothes, they get fed 3 times a day, and they hated it. They couldn't wait to leave. They felt trapped. They felt like they were in jail. Some of them would be there 2 weeks to never shower. And it's just such a different lifestyle. Like their lifestyle isn't to shower and be in clean clothes, and it's to be out in the fresh air, and they would start going crazy and they needed to get out.
There were some that would never use the bed. They'd sleep on the floor despite having a fresh bed there.
Wow.
They wouldn't want to change their clothes. A lot of things. Mm-hmm. A lot of eye-opening things for me, coming from a place where our homeless population is pretty invisible. Mm-hmm. It is there.
Right.
It's small, but we don't see them every day. And certainly not. What's that?
I feel the same way in Tampa too.
You don't see them that very much?
No, and they're honestly treated very well here. There's plenty of resources available. They get fed 3 times a day throughout their different facilities that are around. We have something called Metropolitan Ministries, which is like free housing for them. And they're like very nice little apartments that you qualify for, and you stay there until you get back on your feet. There's endless shelters. We even have this really great, it's like a restaurant. It's free though for the homeless. And their premise is their mission is to like humanize homeless people. So they serve them with plates and silverware, like if they were at a restaurant.
That's
and
awesome.
like to eat. Awesome. Yeah. So that's a really great program we have here. So definitely not how it is in New York, that it's like you have to learn to live in the streets, and very different.
Yeah, New York City. I mean, obviously, we were there at a time that was different than any other time. And so I didn't get what the New York City experience is, but I got enough of it. And there was a lot of really weird stuff going on there. There's a lot of really weird stuff.
Would you go back?
If for the same, like, would I, like, if I had the chance again to do what I did? Yeah.
To vacation or to like meet up with people there too?
No.
You wouldn't go back. Kevin and I went to New York City to watch a Rangers game before. This was like January, I think. February. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I loved it. He likes to go to his favorite like pizza place, which is just a hole in a wall, but it was like delicious pizza. But I loved this city from what I saw. It was just snippets of it, though, not compared to what you saw.
So would I go for a day?
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I was there in February, and like, so right before everything had happened, and I was so excited. New York City. I hadn't been since I was little, so I didn't remember it, and I didn't know how stinky it was.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked to see, like, you know, I live in downtown Tampa, so I mean, it's not as populated, but I don't understand why they can't have like a proper trash system. And like,
it's filthy.
It's very, very filthy. I had never seen a rat before, and I saw like 5.
Oh yeah, some
rats,
big ass rats.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was a news story when we were there that because of the kind of the isolation, social distancing that was going on, a lot of the restaurants had to shut down or greatly reduce what they were doing.
Right.
So what was happening is that there was less garbage. Right.
Yeah.
So the rats
that
were feeding off the garbage from these restaurants
were eating each other.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. Like they're like swarms of aggressive rats were like going around the city trying to find anything to eat, and when they couldn't, they would just go after each other and they'd eat each other.
Nice.
It was wild. Like that, like on the list of things, right? What's the thing in New York City this week? Well, aggressive cannibalistic rats.
It's Darwinism at its finest, man.
It's wild.
I think that they had like 1/3, like how many, I don't know how many people are in New York City, but like in equivalence, they have like 1/3 of that population in rats. And so the city has gotten like millions and millions of dollars to try to get rid of the rat problem. And I'm like, it's just like putting a Band-Aid in it. They're going to come back. Like,
yeah, I mean, until we can take care of our garbage problem.
Yeah.
It's definitely it.
Yeah.
I liked Brooklyn, though. That was my favorite.
Brooklyn was, Brooklyn's not bad. I wouldn't want to actually live there. But as far as that went, there were some decent grocery stores and restaurants, and it was laid out pretty nice. So as far as cities go.
Yeah. If I had to compare from like February to when I went for COVID, like you honestly saw more homeless people out like afterwards, like during the isolation, because they were like out with their chairs. They like set up camp, and you didn't really see that before because there's so many people. So,
you are so popular.
I'm sorry.
Not us.
I think it's like one of my guests calling, but I'll call it back.
Okay. Do you need to take a break?
No,
if you need to take a break, you can.
Bothering me. I don't think it's anything important because I talked to him earlier. Okay, it's fine.
Do you think you need to be like, I don't know how, no one's really talking about it now, but especially because, Phil has to go back to work at the college, but you guys need to be sent anywhere else to help out with the COVID?
They're going all over the country. I think that the demand for healthcare workers is decreased. I think, Melissa can probably speak to that more than I can, but there's certainly calling for people in different parts of the country as different hotspots pop up.
Yeah, New York, it was Texas, and they're still in Texas now. I think it's actually bigger than New York. I think like 4,000 nurses got sent to New York, and in Texas, they're up to like 6,000. Just about.
Is it because of COVID-19 or because of the hurricane too?
Yeah, COVID-19. They did have a separate hurricane relief, but they were only, I think they're going home now. They've been there for like about a week, and then they were given the option to stay to help with COVID, and if not, to go home. I almost went to that, but then I chickened out. So there's that.
You chickened out.
I did chicken out. Also, because I couldn't take my brother-in-law with me, and I felt bad leaving him.
Oh, that's sweet.
I knew you were trying to get into that kind of a situation.
Yeah, so I got the call from Adrian, actually, and he's like, hey, like, let's go. Like, I had the guy on the phone, and I'm like, I don't think I can bring my brother-in-law. And the main thing was that it was like 11 in the morning, and they wanted us to be there by 8 p.m.
Well, yeah, you gotta like go right to the airport.
Yeah, and it was crazy. And I was like, there's one flight, and it's in an hour. I don't have time. And then I was like, oh, this is fine. No, I'm staying. So I chickened out, I think.
That's crazy.
And well, so let me tell you about Florida. So I came back and I got this contract with Florida, and then there's been like so much drama with the contracts in Florida and the agencies, because it was one agency that picked up all the contracts straight across the board with the Department of Health and like emergency management. They were in the hospitals, nursing homes, etc. And then like there was this article that came out with their contact tracing program. I think I had told you to like, you should sign up for that.
Yes, you did.
You probably would have lost your mind because it was very disorganized.
Oh,
And
wow.
they had one of the contact tracers like sitting on standby for 2 weeks getting paid.
They do that here.
Yeah. And so she went to the news about it. And she said that this is a misuse of resources or something like that. She showed her pay stub. She showed that she got paid her hotel and everything else they give you. And then they put the agency under investigation.
That's awful.
Yeah. And then I think like from the grapevine, we heard that the CEO got arrested for mismanagement of government funds. So the entire
Do you have any idea who the CEO was? Because I've had some bad interactions with a group in that area. I think maybe Tampa, Boca Raton. I don't know where the hell it is. Somewhere down there.
Well, the agency is based out of Kansas.
Oh, based out of Kansas. So
Yeah.
okay. Not them.
So I forget his name. It starts with he's Charlie something. And he got arrested for mismanaging government funds. And so then like all of our contracts got canceled.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Yeah. They got in big trouble. And so that, except Miami, because Florida freaked out that Miami's like the hardest hit right now. And they needed them to stay there put. But then they're like slowly moving them out into other agencies. And it's crazy. So now there's like 50 agencies here, and it's all a big mess, and no one knows what to do. Then they had like another agency come in and cancel the nurses. They didn't pay them.
Oh, no.
So yeah, it's a lot of drama going on here.
That sounds like about how this entire crisis has been managed.
2020 it's one gigantic drama situation.
This is what happens when you put the government in charge of healthcare. Sorry, I said it.
No.
I don't care. You're not hurting my
I'll be
note.
back.
Jesse's not going to say anything.
Are you going to bring bourbon?
If that's what you want me to bring, I will.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Melissa, for doing what you're doing and to be friends with Phil. I was very concerned that he was going to the big city, being all Phil like. I was worried that he wasn't going to come back or whatever, but you survived and you did such an amazing thing. And I won't talk too many nice things about you because you hate it, but I'm really glad that you guys got to experience Phil to his fullest. And he brought back he's brought back a lot of really good stories about all of you. And I hope we get to meet all of you guys. So if you guys ever come down, you let us know. We'll take care of you. Absolutely.
For sure. I would absolutely.
Two bar owners here, so.
And the funny thing is that Phil's grandparents live like an hour away from me. I'm like, hello, come visit your grandparents. When they listen to your podcast, they'll be like, make your grandson come visit you.
I don't think they know how to watch the podcast.
That's a shame.
But funny enough, that Phil is like such a fascinating person, and I thought like maybe I just thought that because I have like I'm really intrigued by such intellectual people. But everyone you talk to is Phil's just so fascinating. Fascinating to talk to Phil.
And I think let's talk about what's the fascinating thing about Phil is that, at first, like I said, I did not like Phil when I first met him at all. But when
you both had the same first impression.
And when I first met Phil, I was like, pass, honestly. But when you get to know him, and you get to actually have really good conversations, and when this guy over here can actually change my mind on something after I remove the emotional component of it, and I'm like, I look at it level-headedly, I'm like, boo, you were right. You were totally right. And I'm just so thankful. And I think, Melissa, you can agree that he's a special guy. He's a special guy.
For sure. I think, and honestly, he's taught me like so much about politics, and now I feel like more involved. Now I do more research. Mm-hmm. And I used to bother him about this, that like whenever someone would question his like knowledge because he researches everything, he'd be like, well, actually. 5 years.
I'm not that big of an asshole.
You are.
Yeah, maybe I am.
It's definitely not. I think it's pretty great, but I can definitely attest to the fact that like you just have like
people come at me. I gotta have like. So the thing that you gotta know about me is that when I have these opinions that like seem fully formed, that I really like, that I stand behind, that didn't just come out of nowhere. Like I actually thought deeply about that before I bothered with it. Like if I just say something off the top of my head, you can change my mind on that. But if I've really kind of thought deeply about it, then we'll have to have quite a conversation before I'll.
So I knew nothing about Larry Sharpe.
Yeah.
And I confused him with somebody else, and Kevin had to educate me on this a little bit this morning. But Larry Sharpe is coming to the Silverbird.
Yeah, Larry Sharpe. So Larry Sharpe was the Libertarian candidate for governor in the past election, and he'll be at the Silverbird in Penn Yan on September 7th.
Yes. What day is that?
That's a Monday. That's Labor Day.
Oh, Jesus. What time?
I
think so. You're going to that though.
If I can, I think I might have to work that day. So that'll be our first day of athletic practices at the college.
I saw a picture of him. He looks very good looking. Which, just passing that along.
Larry, don't get a big head. He's kind of skinny. Is
he also on the meat diet as well?
No.
Okay.
I think he might be. He's actually a vegetarian. If he was on the meat diet, there'd be a lot more to him.
Oh.
How's your carnivore diet going? You love it. It's great.
Fantastic. For breakfast today, I had a ribeye with Kerrygold butter. And do you know what do they call it? What did they call it? Gorgonzola. So it's like a combination of brie.
Oh.
And Gorgonzola. So they take the whatever the
did you get from Aldi?
Mold yeah. It's pretty good. So I just smeared some of that on top of my steak. That's pretty good.
We should have breakfast with Phil.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he has like a big breakfast. You have no idea how many people I tell about the carnivore diet since meeting you.
It's the best thing ever.
And they know about it, and they tried it, or they failed. Like
Has anybody tried it?
Actually, my mom's boyfriend was talking about it last night, and he's like, yeah, but like the only thing I struggle with is that, with your mom, like she can't just eat meat, like she's not going to do it. So it's going to be like hard, like the temptation. And I'm like, dude, because his like favorite thing in the world is like going to steakhouses. I'm like, I think this like diet is like for you. And I say the same thing to my boyfriend all the time. I'm like, you would do good with this diet. You need to sit down with Phil.
It's the best thing. Marianne has tried it twice, and she lasted 6 days each time. And then she was like, I need zucchini. Like, really? Zucchini?
Zucchini got me.
Zucchini. You broke a diet for zucchini?
I love zucchini. I love it.
I could understand if it was ice cream or something.
That
or
too.
Like pie.
No, not so much pie. Ice cream most definitely.
Zucchini?
I love zucchini. I love vegetables. I love vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
But also, like, I just don't think that women would do well on that diet. I think it's better for men. I feel like women thrive better on plant-based.
Well,
Or
you can feel
migraine.
that way, but so I'm in some Facebook groups,
He invited me to one of them.
and a lot of women do the carnivore diet, and they succeed.
They're
They
doing
do
good.
really well. They love it.
Phil, why do I feel like you should find your wife on these Facebook groups? Like you have the same lifestyle, you both love meat.
So for anyone who is doing the carnivore lifestyle and wants to meet a nice lady, they should check out a Facebook group called The Meeting Place, MEAT.
Stop it.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing. It was fun. It's got just a bunch of really awful memes. Mostly is like all these, because the thing is, like, we're all spread out. Like, none of us live near each other, but people just post these awful memes about I don't know, about dating. And
Before we
being a
talk about
carnivore.
your alcohol consumption over here, Ruth got me this espresso and she put tonic in it from Amity.
Yeah.
And at first, I think when my first, you can't see my face, but I took a first sip of it. I was like, she's like, she was going to switch her coffee with me. And I'm like, no. I'm cool with it. Now I actually really appreciate it. So if anyone needs to go over to Amity, I don't know what it's called, and you guys won't either, but it's espresso with tonic water.
Well, there you go.
It's at first awful, but you get used to the awfulness.
I
And
know
it's
that
actually pretty
they always serve the espresso with some kind of like club soda or something, but tonic water would
this
certainly.
is good. I've never
a
had it
different-
before. I want more Ruth in my life.
This is Jesse's. This is some stuff that I brought to New York City, and I actually shared some with
Gennaro.
with Rob and Gennaro. Oh my God, Gennaro! So Gennaro is. We've got to get him on the podcast sometime. He's
Yes,
a real character.
I
And
think
he-
hear that thing too.
And
He said
anyway-
he would do it.
Oh, he said he would do it.
Okay.
And it would be awesome. Anyway, he had one of these. I let him pour it himself by mistake. I gave him some ice in a cup and I said, "Here you go." And he had a hangover. I don't know if the hangover could have been from this, because this is too good of alcohol to have.
You guys told
to
me
cause a
you don't get
hangover.
hangovers from things like
I don't get a
this.
hangover from this. I think he might have still been drunk the next day. He had like one glass of it, and then I was offering him some of that Lafroig that we had the other day, and he thought that he was like, "Is there a fire? I smell smoke." And I was like, "No, it's just my scotch." But yeah, he had some of this, and everybody. knew
That
it
sounds
the
like a good
next day.
commercial thing right there. No, that's my scotch. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think so. So what are you guys sipping? So it's this bourbon. This is the bourbon you've been talking about, Jesse, for quite some time.
Yeah. That's what Phil's got. I'm still drinking
Yeah.
my coffee.
I've been
with
drinking this
coffee
since
vodka.
March.
Yeah, you've had it. For
This
a
is the
while.
one we picked the label for, right?
Yeah.
When I say we, I mean Ginny and I.
Yeah, we picked the label for this live on the podcast.
We did.
So
Yeah.
It's pretty.
yeah.
I'm not a big liquor person. I'm such a poser.
So when you come here, we are going to expose you
Trying
to
to
a lot
remember.
of good stuff here.
Oh, we've got all sorts of good stuff.
Not
here.
just alcohol, but like
Yeah.
hiking, the Outlet Trail, Flat Marianne. What's this shirt? What shirt did you give her today?
It's the same shirt.
Same shirt.
Oh, I just never noticed there's 2 ducks and something else on there.
It's Duck Duck Goza.
I almost
that's
had to
cute.
wear Flat Marianne's shirt the other day when I came in here. I
The
got
monsoon.
I got absolutely soaked on the way in,
I'm
and I was
sorry.
like, I got no other shirts
I heard about this.
other than Flat Marianne's, and I was like, I could wear that.
Is it a normal thing for business owners to park in front of their business?
Yeah, it should be.
No.
Oh, yeah,
You should let your customers park in front of your business
Why?
so we don't get wet.
Oh, well, I mean, you guys probably had umbrellas. I don't.
I did
So,
not have an umbrella.
Yeah. Then I locked the door behind me so you couldn't get in.
He did. He did. I was like,
Over there? Does he have like a scarf on?
it's chilly up here.
It's
It's
literally
not.
August.
It's 80 degrees.
No,
out.
no.
So
It is like 68 right now, probably.
Phil,
Absolutely not.
Phil, there's not 60. It's got to be.
Absolutely
It's
not.
got to be way over 60.
It was at least in the 70s when I came down here earlier.
I kept trying
set
to
up.
bring it up, but you guys kept like talking before I could get it out. I was like, Are we allowed to wear scarves now? Is that a thing in August?
It is a thing.
Is that like wearing white after Labor Day? You can't
can
wear a scarf until after Labor Day.
I think you
What
can't.
is the thing with that? You always hear that in movies, and it doesn't even make sense to me.
That you can't wear white.
After Labor Day, yeah.
It's a stupid thing. That
I think it's like a Jackie Kennedy thing or something.
Very.
Nobody,
It's like that era.
nobody cares.
Only ladies from that era care.
The weather is definitely something I miss because you could be outside and eat outside and it was like breezy and not like humidity. And here you just want to suffocate out there. You don't even want to go out.
Is
Sounds
it
like
hot
fun.
down there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably like in the 90s and then it rained. So it's like,
It's humid.
What's your Airbnb situation like?
what do you mean?
Well, so you've got all this experience with Airbnb.
Yeah, so actually that's like what I'm in the middle of right now is kind of like picking my next move just because the real estate market is such like a questionable thing at the moment. We had previous conversations of this as well. Like, because if you speak to a realtor, they'll tell you like, well, I think it's booming. I think this is a great time to buy because the demand is high because not everyone's showing their homes with COVID. And, you know, you're going to get better offers. But if you actually look at the listings, what you'll see is that the homes are selling, but the ones that are selling are very highly renovated. So the people that bought them would have bought them no matter what no matter what was going on, if the market was high, low, or at a plateau. People that have like stable income, I guess, and just, or needed to move. But really like the houses that are pretty normal, like normal single family homes, they are at a standstill. They've been on the market like since April. So I'm kind of hesitant to like I'm like waiting to see what happens after they lift the eviction and foreclosure. And then I'll see how the market reacts to that. But I'm like ready to step into my next Airbnb because it bounced back completely.
You should totally do it.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that. I just read an article about the Fed is planning on basically encouraging kind of an ongoing hyperinflation right now. And that they're planning on keeping interest rates low no matter what. And that they want to have a stimulus on one side, but then they want to let the prices go up and they want to let everything inflate so that it gets cash flowing, makes people want to spend their money. And I'm a little bit concerned about that. And it makes me think that I'm not sure, but maybe I should buy a house before the prices shoot up, because if money is not going to be worth as much, I don't know what's going to happen.
The houses have been selling here pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah. As long as they're like a regular, like normal houses, like the more normal it is, the faster it sells.
We like normal houses. So yeah.
I don't like normal things.
No, you don't.
What is like a normal house over there? Like rent, like updated or just not really?
Nice. It's nice.
Just like, like a semi-updated, like not even fully updated necessarily, but like a semi-updated, 3-bed, 2-bath. Like if it's under 160, it's going to fly. It's going to fly off.
Well, I think in the village of Penn things fly really quickly. I see one real estate agent put up their sign, and then I come back later that day, it's like sold. I'm like, wow, what's the point?
When it's a good house, it goes right away. And a lot of times, a problem that I've run into is that when I look at a house that pops up, I'm like, oh man, that would be a good one for me.
Yeah.
An investor goes in and buys it cash.
Yeah.
And I've got no chance.
No. But I want to make a point that Newbie says Alexa says it's 68 degrees. Can you not hear me now?
Yeah. So you're like to the side of the microphone.
Well, Newbie said my temperature reading was right.
Yeah. So
Thanks,
apparently
Newbie.
it's in the 60s. Thanks, Newbie.
Jerk.
And Jamie listens on.
Jerk.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
Jamie.
Would my girlfriend agree with?
She agreed when Marianne was thanking all the folks that were down in New York City.
And then when they come down, that we will take care of them.
And we will. I can't wait until we can have big party.
Wait. we're gonna take care of him. What are we doing?
Oh, we're just gonna take care of
Like
them.
get him drunk?
No,
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
no.
Yes.
That's what they want.
You.
No, they-
Full experience. He told me that he kayaks on the river, then stopped or something on the river, boating or something. Then you stop, then you like make a fire, and then you like eat whatever fish right there. I want that experience.
What the hell have you been telling this girl?
I was just telling
Does
her.
she think we like?
I was telling her about
we're
my
like
river
freaking
trips.
settlers or something? Like,
No, I was telling her about my river trip. So this is a thing that I do with my
Oh my
brother, and I
God.
haven't gotten to do it this year because
Nope.
during that time of year I was gone.
Okay.
But usually every year, my brother and I, at least a couple times, we'll get in a raft and we'll go float down the river at home, and we'll spend the day fishing and catch a couple bass or a walleye or something, and you just pop off to the side and you make a fire on the shore. And
I
you-
wasn't thinking of doing any of that with you, by the way.
Yeah.
But
No, but we'll take you on a wine tour.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, you really are like from
We have
New York. Like,
zero experience. I think Phil's the only one that does that.
I might be the only
Sure.
one that does that.
That's
I don't
not my daily thing. I wake up.
Mhm.
Okay, this this guy. Sorry, but this guy, he doesn't do that. But you know what he does? He goes out in the woods and makes moonshine,
True. Yeah.
and then he starts the woods on fire.
No, my dad did.
So you gotta tell her about that.
Tell her about that.
Yeah,
Then like Smokey the Bear's gonna come here and be pissed.
but you got it out right.
Yeah, barely. Oh, so anyways, the first time we were making moonshine, we made it out of 2 kegs that we found and whatever. And so, we're making it. I'm drinking it. Dad's like, oh, this isn't alcohol. I don't know what the hell. This is disgusting. Look, it won't even light on fire. And he's like lighting the spoon. He's like, I told you it's not on fire. And I'm like, Dad, I think it's on fire. And he throws it and the entire woods is on fire. And there's open alcohol everywhere and propane. It was bad.
This
It
was not recently, by the way.
that was the most I've ever fathered him in his life. Like, what the hell are you thinking? He goes, well, Jesus Christ, at least we make good moonshine. And we're like stomping it out. All he cares is that it burns. He's
It's
like,
good.
you know, I've never had
They're making this.
Yeah.
So that's
I desperately wanted to remind your mother about how you upset her that one time when we talked about on the podcast, how you ran to the school bus. And what did she say to you? What did she say?
Oh, I don't remember. It was more or less.
we
It's a
spent.
good
you,
thing.
You better get on that school bus or
good-
something about the
Oh
school
no,
bus.
she called you a wimp or something.
A pussy or
Yeah.
a wimp or something.
I don't think she
know
would
what
call you
called.
that.
Oh, yeah. She
You-
last
would.
night, last night, I spent like a half an hour going through last week's podcast with Jesse's mom because she heard that he told the story about the time that she almost killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I got to hear this. How dare you let him tell that story on the podcast? And then she told me this story about one time that he gave her the finger and she slapped the shit out of him at Lowe's.
It was awesome. Well,
Why
because-
would you do that to your mom?
So, do you know how you like pick doors out at Lowe's?
No.
Yeah, well, so there's a door section, and the way they're set up is like you can get on either side of the door and open and close it. So I was like, got on the other side of the door and flipped her off for some reason, and she opened the door and bitch slapped me so hard, I didn't even have enough time to react. Just pow, and I was like, and I'll never forget. I couldn't believe she did it. Like, the way she smacked me, and she's like, I don't think you'll be doing that again. I'm like, you're probably right.
How old were you? Was this yesterday?
No, it was probably I was probably about 14, 15. I wasn't like being a jerk. I thought I was being funny with her.
Mm-mm.
And no, it
No.
wasn't that funny.
No, not funny at all.
No, it's all right.
I think I was there and I was eating something and your mom was like, isn't it good? I'm like, yeah, it's totally good. I mean, if it wasn't good, I would still say it's good. She's like, why? And I'm like, because you scare me.
She's a little gangster.
Was
I
it the
love it.
soup? Was it the soup?
No, I didn't. No, I was eating that breakfast thing.
Breakfast
The Monte Cristo? Krista?
here?
Here.
You have a Monte Cristo here?
Yeah.
Dude.
It's a big seller, man.
Oh,
Big
okay.
seller.
You didn't.
It's not so.
Yeah.
It's like a breakfast. It's like a sandwich. for
A
breakfast.
Monte Cristo. It's like it's French toast with ham and Swiss, and then you fry it, and then you put powdered sugar on it, and then you dip it in like real maple syrup or raspberry jam. It's
It was
really
it was
good.
really. It comes out. I'm like, oh, this looks like a French toast, and everyone's looking at me like, well, no shit. And I'm like, I just really didn't read the description, I guess. But it was awesome. Tastes good.
Pretty
was
good.
pretty happy with it.
Yeah, try one. You've never had one?
I think I've had a version of it, but it wasn't with the cranberry sauce or the raspberry jam. I
Okay.
think I'd rather dip it in that. So it was kind of like very greasy and not enough like sweet.
Yeah.
Was it fried?
Everyone, yes, it was fried.
We talked about that because
Yeah,
everyone's like,
mine's not like, I guess, fried. I guess we put it on the griddle.
no, you want it to be fried, and everyone's like, stop talking.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. I think we should try it fried once.
Yeah, well, we try everything once.
Is the authentic one fried?
What'd you say? Sorry.
The authentic one fried?
Oh, I don't know. I think it is.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. Jamie Sisson may know. Does Jamie know?
Jamie was asking where you were last night.
I was at the distillery working, and then I got to the restaurant late. Yeah, we were training 2 people, so it was a crowded place, and Phil was taking up a lot of space. And
I always take up a lot of space.
Where were you talking about last night? Where were you last night?
he was
I
here.
was here.
Oh, you were here?
Yeah.
Did you go to the live music at Laurentide yesterday?
I tried, but it was like they were at their capacity.
Oh, they were turning people away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The Laurentide music is like, you better get there early if you want to
gotta
go
get
see
there
it.
early.
Because you're not.
It's
got
the
there.
only place you can listen to
It's
live
full.
music in town right
It's
now.
crazy.
Yeah.
Did you get first? Just while we're here, I just got this shirt in the mail yesterday
So
to support the Minnesota Scottish Festival. So this is my new McCracken pub T-shirt. I hope you can see it.
I thought it said
It-
cracker.
The cow has a mask on.
I noticed
Fur.
it.
So hopefully
That's not a cow.
the support that we gave will help get them through until
It's a bull.
next year's Minnesota
It's not a
Scottish
bull
Festival.
either.
It's like a
It's a
Scottish. No, it's like a Scottish cow.
I think it's a yak. Isn't that what they're called?
No.
No, it's not called a yak.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure.
Okay, it's a yak.
Let me
I don't think it is.
let me Google it. Let me.
It's like a Highland cow or something.
So since we have hey Jamie, can you look this up for us?
Jamie, what's the deal with Highland cows?
He's like,
They're
Jenny,
brown.
Jenny, need you to look up something for me.
They usually don't wear masks, but this one has a mask on. But anyway, I just want to give a shout out to the McCracken family and thank them.
Close?
No, it's not a yak.
No. Okay.
I told you it's not a yak.
All right.
So
Okay.
how's your presidential duties going?
My presidential duties for the outlet trail.
Mm-hmm.
So far so good. I mean, it's been actually kind of crazy. A lot more going on. Yeah, it's one of those Highland cattle. Yeah.
Highland cattle. That's the name.
It's a lot more than what I thought was going to be going on when I came home. And we've got a lot of big projects going on, and had a lot of meetings. And it's good. It's good. So hopefully it'll stay that way.
Marianne just got called out too.
Still working on getting stuff organized. Uh-oh.
The owner was spending time with her daughter, Jamie.
So yes, you have to tell. Like some people are just listening to this and they can't see the comments.
Oh, okay. So
See.
Jamie Sisson also says we were also to the wine bar that the owner was also missing, and I was with my daughter. We went to a first communion yesterday. And it
So
was
Jamie
nice.
was bar hopping.
He was in a COVID-19 manner.
Uh-oh.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was bar hopping. He ordered a substantive food at each location
Each
Yes.
location.
and was sitting down,
Mhm.
and it wasn't chicken wings.
Oh, I wish I heard all the stories he talked about, though.
Oh,
I love
know.
listening to his stories.
Our friend Melissa, our friend Jamie has really great stories.
He has the best personality, I think, in town.
Yeah,
Oh,
If
very,
you
very
come up,
gregarious.
you're gonna meet a lot of interesting people if you come up this
You
way.
will meet him and his lovely wife, Ginny, and it's going to be fantastic.
We have to wait till this has kind of died down because
COVID?
Yeah, we have to wait
Yeah.
till COVID's over. And
Right.
when COVID's over, you need to come here, and we're
Well,
gonna have like
An
some.
agenda.
We're gonna
of
have some
people.
great parties.
Florida germs.
What?
I wouldn't want to bring my Florida germs to your little town.
No, we're okay with your. I mean, don't. Yeah, no. Seriously, though, don't.
People don't know what COVID is. They're like closing their eyes to it because life never changed here. Other
In
than
Tampa.
yeah, when they closed the restaurants, I think that was it. That was like the most impact it had. People were always out on the street. We still had traffic. We still have traffic. They're just like
And the beaches too, right? Weren't the beaches packed?
Yeah, they closed for a little bit and now they're packed. And I mean, granted, like it's not just residents, it's also a lot of tourists. Well, like I was telling you, my Airbnb is like back and popping because
Yeah.
everyone's at the beach here. And we have Clearwater Beach, which like technically I guess is like the #1 beach in the United States. Like they hold the record or the title. And it's like super packed all the time. I went last weekend. We drove past it because I don't go to that beach. It's honestly, if you're ever in Tampa, don't go to that beach.
It's just tourists.
Good to know.
Yeah, and the water's dirty because it's very populated. So if you just drive like 15 minutes north of that, you'll see like clear blue water that you can see your feet like 100 feet.
So the name's a lie. It's not really Clearwater Beach.
True.
They are lying.
Clearwater's dirty.
Dirty water beach.
It's like these housing developments that are like Vista View, and it's like down. It's not. There's no view and there's no vista.
No. I just Tampa Bay's got
Twin Pines has no trees.
Like, Tom Brady's down there now. I got Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski
Is there
living in Tampa Bay.
Is there going to be
Gotta
any
changing
sports
stuff.
this year? I mean, I noticed basketball stopped doing its thing. For
Well,
a little
there's
bit.
sports. We've got sports going on right now.
No, I mean like
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yeah, the NBA is going on right now.
Well, I'm just. Can I finish?
Yeah, sorry.
So, the NBA. Was it the Wednesday? They're like, no, we're not going to play because of what's been going on in Wisconsin.
Right.
Mhm.
So
yeah, they had a protest.
But I just want them to play so Kevin can watch.
Well, they'll be
sports.
back on Saturday.
Well, they
Or
played
yesterday.
last night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday
Yeah.
they came back.
They
They have cardboard people instead of like an audience. It's like cardboard people, and then they play the effects.
I don't
Do
know.
they really?
I don't-
not at the basketball games.
I think no, I don't know if the games work, but I don't know. I read that somewhere.
yeah, basketball games they have like virtual fans because you can like watch from your computer screen. Then they put you like on the screen.
It's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, like
I
your
like
face is up there. Yeah, they had to go back to playing because they signed a collective bargain agreement, and more or less if they didn't play next year, they like the salary cap because there's a max salary all these people can be paid,
Mhm.
and if you don't do what you signed, the bargain agreement, then the cap lowers. So these guys that can make up to $250 million contract will drop.
So that's why they came back.
Yeah,
It wasn't because they were like, oh yeah, no, we agree.
So I think that a lot of it had to do with the fact they're like, well, we want to make money.
I know they agreed
I mean-
also that they were going to have some type of like social justice foundation or something.
They
to
actually
that.
got something really cool out of it. So a lot of the stadiums are going to open up voting there to make it more
Yeah.
centralized, so people don't have to like go to certain places. So now,
Oh.
like the Lakers, Staples Center, you can go and vote, which is really cool.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So they got some of the things
So that
wanna
way
get
they
done
can
there.
actually
Yeah.
spread
We're
out.
using ours for testing, like at Raymond James Stadium. That's where testing.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Well, it's kind of, what they did with the Javits.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm hoping it'll come back because Super Bowl's supposed to be here in February.
Oh, no way.
That's supposed to be. So
That's
I was,
going to increase the price for the Airbnb. So now it's like
I was very excited.
It's going to be Super Bowl with no fans.
That's why everyone thought it would be interesting with Tom Brady down there because how he goes to all the Super Bowls. They'd be the first team to ever play a Super Bowl at their home stadium. It'd be pretty. It's history. It'd be cool.
Oh my
It'd be pretty interesting.
God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds
So
awesome.
it's like a home game
my
if you make it
God.
to the Super Bowl. It'd be fun.
That would be awesome. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's not a thing.
Do you really think the Buccaneers, regardless of who their quarterback is, do you really think the Buccaneers could
Yes.
be in a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Right now, yeah.
Tom Brady makes things happen.
Yeah. Tom
And
Brady, Rob
I forgot who it is. I don't know sports. He brought some other guy with him that's really good to play.
Yeah, Rob Gronkowski. Yeah. Tight.
I don't
He's
know
really
any of this
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Who was the guy with the hair that used to be down there? The guy with
The Head and Shoulders
was it
guy?
like Crabtree or something. Who did they have?
Who?
I don't know.
The
guy.
Buccaneers with
Yeah,
hair?
The Buccaneers. They had like a guy that his hair was always. I don't know.
Did he
I don't
do,
watch the NFL.
I don't know. I don't think.
I
Did
don't
he
watch
do the
NFL.
Head and Shoulders commercials?
No.
Was it that guy?
I don't know.
That would have been
Okay.
Troy Polamalu. I wonder if
Was
that,
it Paul? Was it
No.
Paul? Was
but
he
he
there?
plays for the Steelers.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
right.
know.
Oh,
I don't
did
know.
not anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Well, it's a good time to be in Tampa
I guess
Bay.
I don't know anything
Sports.
about the Buccaneers.
I
That's a no. That's a
like,
no.
it's bad timing. I was so excited when Tom Brady came to Tampa. I was like cheering, and people are like, "You don't even like football." Tampa. I'm
Well-
like, it's gonna bring so much to our local economy. I'm so excited. And
No,
then
Melissa's like, Tom
Yeah.
Brady's going to bring so much money to this place. Bring it and do
Yeah.
your job, and don't say I'm not going to play. Just do what you need to do.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think a lot of people like think about Cleveland. Like Cleveland was the biggest dump rundown city I probably
Mhm.
ever went to. And then after LeBron was there and won a
Right.
couple championships, all of a sudden Cleveland's like a hot spot, like booming. And that's all over sports.
And not in a bad way.
Sports.
Yeah. Yeah, not hopefully not booming in a bad way.
And Jamie Sisson though thinks that Tom is a panty waste. So
But he makes things happen, though.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge
we'll
fan,
see how
but
he does. We'll see how he does without Belichick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's weird that they split up like that.
And we'll see, how he does. I don't know if he's gonna bring in the deflated footballs
Yes.
and
That's Belichick's the cheater.
if
not
he's
Tom
gonna bring
Brady.
in the spy cameras and all that stuff.
It's Belichick.
Or if I
That
know.
wasn't Tom Brady.
We'll see, but we'll
Tom-
see how he does without the footage.
Tom's
of
got his
other teams'
own
practices
bag of
and
tricks. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
No, I don't know about that. He doesn't need to cheat. He's
Just
a
an-
good
just
quarterback.
a-
Oh, are you
Needle.
a Brady fan?
Not at all.
Oh,
I don't-
okay.
I don't really like. He's just. I mean,
He
He's
is
so
good.
pretty.
He's good.
He's such a pretty guy.
He's pretty.
Oh, he's so pretty.
Well, you think? Wait.
What?
You think Tom Brady's pretty?
He is pretty.
his wife is prettier. He was
Oh no, his wife is gorgeous.
Elle Bunston or something like that. She used to be like the #1 model in I think the country. She used to be
In the world, she was
Well,
the top model in the world.
His other
Yeah, she's
woman that
crazy.
he was with was also very pretty. He has standards.
The other woman.
There was he has he
Was
was
there?
he
He's
was
been married to Giselle forever.
No, but there was another woman before her.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Was it Jessica Simpson?
No. Oh, honey, no.
Oh no, that was Tony Romo, right?
Yeah, it was Romo.
Don't-
Yeah.
I don't know if
Choose
it's
these
is it
boys.
chicken or is it fish? I don't know.
I think it's both.
Okay, I can't get over the pretty comment. You call guys pretty?
Some are. I just found out about Zac Efron.
You think he's pretty?
What's the deal with Zac Efron?
He is gorgeous.
Oh,
He is
gorgeous.
gorgeous. And I was so
Who
unaware
that?
of him. He was in High School Musical or something. But
Yeah.
then I don't know. I don't know. I'm too old for
I
this
need
now,
a
right?
drink if we're going to talk about pretty men.
Yeah.
mean about him. That is like because I grew up with Zac Efron, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
he was like, there's a meme that says like, "Thank you for kind of glowing up as my taste in men changed too," because he was like this like really pretty little boy in High School Musical, and now he's like a man with like chest hair and stuff.
He's a man.
We love men.
I got chest hair. Am I a man?
Nope, not at
Phil?
all.
Do you think?
You're almost there.
Almost a man.
I mean, look at him. He's gorgeous. Like that's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Melissa, just for the record, if you're a man with a button down shirt,
They're not wearing it.
how many buttons should you have undone?
3.
That's what I do.
3?
3.
Three's what I do.
3's a lot.
I always do 3.
I'm going with like 2.
Oh no.
I'm a 2. I'm 2. I'm 1 at work and then 2 after work.
Yeah.
3 is like super deep.
I'm like a 3 at work and a 4 not at work.
He is. He is.
Yeah. Come
I
on.
feel like here we have like the Cubans, so they have like 5, and then like their gold chain, and then all their head chest hair out.
Jamie, how many buttons are unbuttoned on your shirt? That's what I want to know.
All those years of just doing chest workouts weren't for nothing. I mean, you gotta like do the buttons. I never worked on legs, only chest. So you just,
No, legs are important too.
Yeah, I know that, but you don't know that
That's
in
why
high school.
that's why I got a bike.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. When was the last time you went biking, Phil?
No, did
This
you
morning.
Did you
Oh.
see that bike?
What bike?
You haven't seen his bike?
No, I haven't seen his bike.
Do you
Dude.
want my old bike?
Can I get on it?
Yeah, you
Is
can
it
get
too
on
tall?
it. No, it's not too tall.
Okay.
Tell her about your bike, dude. This thing
All
is
right.
insane.
Briefly,
Briefly.
I have a bike that has a battery attached to it, and when I pedal it, it helps me go faster.
It's like motorized.
Jamie says 2.
Jamie says 2 buttons.
2 buttons.
Jamie, why don't you
So,
live
yeah.
on the wild side and see what Ginny thinks when you do 3?
So it's an e-bike. I have an e-bike.
She might like 3.
Ooh.
Just go 3.
Oh.
I bet you Ginny will like 3.
Yeah, we need Ginny's opinion on
Yeah,
this.
I bet you would like 3 buttons, Jamie.
Ginny's like, I'm not sure in my husband. Ladies, back off.
Oh boy. Yeah, that bike was cool. Some guy almost tried to take it for a stroll last night
yeah,
when Phil was
yeah.
at the restaurant.
I was
What?
watching out the window. Every time I park at a restaurant, like guys walk up and they're like, "What is that? That looks different."
Oh, you should take a picture and post it.
Jamie, one does
just send
not
it to
have
me.
to show off chest to prove you're a man.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Jamie, what do you have to do to prove you're a man?
Oh, I don't know if we should read this online.
What?
I don't think you have to do anything.
Newbie, what
I
do you
think you just have to be. A
What
man.
is this? I
Newbie.
finally got to meet Newbie.
Newbie, what do you think, buddy? I know you're out
Yeah,
there.
we haven't heard from Newbie today. but I
Newbie's
know
like
he was
pulling
gonna
his
want
car
it.
over right now. He's like, hold on. I'll comment.
He's gonna meet us at the Laurentide after this.
Oh God, I don't.
Is there music there today too?
I don't know if I can go to Laurentide.
I don't
after
know.
This. Maybe. We'll have to see.
Slick Sly.
Slick
But
Sly.
Slick Sly was there yesterday, so I don't know if he'll
Yeah.
be back again today.
So, is there what's going on in Tampa Bay? Is there like music and eat and dining and all the fun partying still going on?
Is there a difference between Tampa and Tampa Bay?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, Tampa's actually really big. It's very wide. Like our downtown is little, but it's very wide. So you have like West Tampa, South Tampa. And South Tampa is like the more club scene, like more young live comes out there. And then so you would see that there, like the bars and all that stuff. And in this specific spot called Soho is like all of our bars are lined up. And then that's where you see like there's no bars that are allowed to be open right now unless they have food. So that's how they're kind of
Okay.
doing it.
Yeah.
And just down the street, like we have this place called Parks and Recs, and it's like an arcade bar. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those. It's actually really fun.
Yeah.
And there was like a line wrapped around last weekend, and I was like, "Oh Jesus!" And they didn't have masks on. I just drove past it, and I actually took a video of it. I was like, "This is pretty crazy." Like,
Is there a mask requirement there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside, yeah.
Okay.
And then we don't have a lot of Karens though that fight it, but maybe like sometimes, but not really. People usually like listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an arcade bar in Buffalo that's themed around Tron. It's pretty cool. So
There's what?
an arcade bar in Buffalo that's like Tron themed. You ever seen the movie Tron?
No, but
I have seen Tron.
they got the glowing suits, right?
Yeah.
Like the walls like are all like glowy like that, and it's just cool. Like the bar's like kind of built like Tron, and just like kind of fun. Yeah, it's a cool spot.
So Melissa, when you come here, are you gonna bring me some chicharrones?
Of course I am. Are you kidding? What else do you want? I'll bring you some. Oh wait, but you're on the carnivore diet. Okay, what else can I bring you that would be yummy? Because I could bring you empanadas.
Lengua.
And casitas. Oh, see, this is why I need you to meet Franco, because you guys would be besties. I know.
You like the lengua?
Yeah, that's like part of his culture. He's Mexican, so that's like a big
Okay.
Mexican thing. I'm not a fan. The
You
texture.
ever had lengua?
Don't think so.
Do you know what it is?
No clue.
It's cow tongue.
Oh, well, I've had cow tongue, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not how you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just pretty much boiled.
When you get it Mexican, it's like they put these sauces with it that are pretty good.
Yeah. My favorite thing
Spicy.
is what are those things called? They're so good. It's like wrapped in a corn husk and
Tamales.
tamales. Man, those
Yeah.
things are so good.
You would think
So good.
we've had this conversation about 10 times about tamales, and he's still like it's
I'll
his
never-
favorite Mexican food, but
It's so
he
good.
will never remember the name.
I
of it.
order it the same way every time I go. I was like, can I just have the thing wrapped in the corn husk?
Can I get the corn husk thing?
And they're like, sure.
You want chicken or beef?
They're like, you idiot. Like, we'll just bring it out.
Well, actually, Colombians are a little different. They're like wrapped in banana leaves.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. And so when I first had a Mexican one, I was like, wow, this is so different. And the Mexican ones is usually just like the corn flour and then the meat. Like in Colombia, potatoes, and it has actual corn in it. and like even bone and chicken is in it, and you kind of just like pick through it. You open up the big banana leaf and you like pick through it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
The bone, there's bones inside of Colombian tamales.
Yeah, because you use like every part of the chicken basically in it.
Oh no,
I don't like
Really?
bones.
I would end up choking to death. I feel
Well,
like.
I mean, you're not gonna, like,
Chicken nuggets.
well, I guess Mexican one is more like shredded.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's very,
It's
they're
kind
very
of like
tasty.
it's like spicy mush
No, don't say spicy
No.
mush.
in a good
It's
way.
flavorful.
No,
It's mushy.
It's
It's
not
got a
sp-
mushy
it's
texture.
flavorful.
It's not really that mushy. And maybe you've had it before. It's mushy, but if it's done right, it's like perfect. It's like
What would perfect be like?
it's like got a good mouthfeel, not mush. Mush is not a good mouthfeel.
Mush is not a good describing
It's
word
like firm
for
mush.
tamales.
Yeah.
No. They're very flavorful. They're yummy.
Yeah, I didn't say
Yeah.
anything about the flavor. I said the flavor was good.
Oh boy.
Oh, we got newbies.
In the words of the dude, the Big Lebowski.
Have you guys ever had chicharrones? Oh, I know you have, Phil.
Have you ever had like authentic chicharrones?
I don't know if I
I
have.
don't even-
Do you know what
no.
chicharrones are?
No.
Okay, so what you would get, you can get kind of non-authentic chicharrones at the store. You just go and they're called pork rinds.
Okay.
But
Okay.
if you go to a Colombian restaurant, do you want to tell them?
No. You got it.
So if you go to a Colombian restaurant,
Okay.
they take it comes from the pork belly, right?
Yeah.
So it's like pork belly, but they take the skin and the fat and like a little bit of the meat,
Mhm.
and they kind of they take a long slice of it and they put some cuts in it, and then they deep fry it, and it's like crispy and fatty and flavorful. It's pretty good.
Sounds like pork belly just in general almost.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, but it's with the skin, so you get that like
Yeah.
the skin gets all crispy and puffed up.
okay. Yeah.
It's delicious. I actually like surprised Phil with it because we would order Colombian food all the time, and I knew that Phil loved his meat, so I was like, okay. So I got him some, and I'm like, look, I have this new thing for you. You're gonna love it. And he goes, oh, chicharrones. I know what this is. I eat this all the time.
Those were good though. Those were good.
I feel like Melissa's got like a bad interpretation of what the Finger Lakes are. I just think she's gonna come up here and think we're all on boats fishing. We're like
Marianne's gonna be on a
We're-
boat an hour from now.
we're building campfires and
It's
cooking
too cold
fish.
for the boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, the kids are going to be riding bikes. We're going to be outside.
oh.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the bike?
No, it needs brakes, and we need to fix the brakes,
Well,
right?
The rear brake works. Just the front brake needs
Just
a little
don't
work.
hit the rear brake, or just don't hit the front brake, and you'll be fine.
You can hit it. It just won't stop you.
Right.
It'll
I
slow you down a little bit.
Let me take a look at the bike, and I might just steal it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can Flintstone it. Just put your feet down.
That's
stop.
what Porsche does sometimes too. It's really
the way
comical.
to do it.
It's very comical.
I showed Melissa. You remember? I showed you a couple of videos of Porsche that she sent me when we were down there.
Yeah, I think
My
you did.
goddaughter.
So actually, just to like comment on what Jesse said, like I have a good interpretation of the Finger Lakes because I think that like you guys are such a close knit community and you're all like really there for each other. And then when Phil like announced that or like asked, I don't know who you asked for like clothing donations, and then with this like SUV full of clothes, and you're like, yeah, this is just how we are over there. And
It
I
took
think it's
2
pretty
days.
Yeah, some people are pretty nice.
They realized on Wednesday that we didn't have any clothes that would. Well, there were two problems, right? So there was one guy that we didn't have anything that would fit him.
Right.
For
Yeah.
some clothes, and we had another guy whose clothes were so bad that he just wanted to throw them away, and he did.
Mm.
And it took 48 hours for me making a phone call that we had a room full of clothes.
So is he just like naked? Like,
And a
he had
big
no
thanks,
clothes?
and for that, by the way, a big thanks to Cuca College and
Mhm.
the Once Again shop,
Mm-hmm.
because they were some big donors, and some of my friends made some contributions as well.
You have good connections.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, he didn't. So we would have like scrubs or pajamas that would be provided to all the patients that stayed there. So for the 2 weeks that they were there, they'd have those to
Oh,
wear,
okay.
and we changed them out every few days for them.
Mhm.
But as far as them having something to wear home or back
okay.
to the shelter or back to wherever they were going to, there was nothing. So And that clothing donation rode us through the duration of that facility.
Yep, it sure did. So that was pretty amazing. And then he'd always show me pictures of like how beautiful it is there, and then some project you guys had going on that they were building. I don't know what it was, like some overhang with like tables under it.
Pavilion. That was our new pavilion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really
Okay. So he did us a justice. You don't think you're coming up here with a bunch of settlers and we're building log cabins with our bare hands and stuff like that.
No, but he's such a minimalist. Like the second he got home, he's like, "Yeah, I'm throwing everything out. I don't need any of this."
Oh God, that didn't happen.
I'm
did
still
it?
working on
I
that.
was
Yeah.
gonna say he's done doing that.
I'm still working on that.
That's not gonna happen.
But I did
know-
I did throw a bunch of stuff, and I'm working on putting together some donations and stuff. So
That
Nice.
sounds good.
Cool. For everything you throw away, for every 10 things you throw away, I'll think about throwing away one.
and then I bought a bunch of equipment for the podcast. So
Yeah, that was some good
Dang,
equipment,
Good
too.
stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
how do you like our production here?
I think it's like professional. You guys have your mics. He asked me, he's like, "Do you have a mic?" And I'm like, "No."
No, like who
Well,
has
you know,
mics?
so you get the headphones that have the microphone on
Right.
them, or people have the headsets. Like a lot of people have different things where it's got a microphone of some sort.
Yeah.
I did not.
So I just asked, do you have anything that has a microphone on it, or do you have headphones? Because that always improves the audio quality. So, and what I discovered is the audio quality matters a lot more than the video quality.
yeah, exactly.
That's true.
So, Marianne, did you hear? Well, before we're completely off of chest today, chest hair, that we were thinking about waxing my chest.
Can I do it?
live on the podcast?
Can I
Who's
do
we?
it? No,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You were
Kelly
drunk. I don't know if
Clarkson.
you remember. You were pretty drunk that night, but it was kind of your idea.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's
It
true.
was a true story.
I'm pretty sure that's not
I'm
true.
telling you, Mary's not going to let you forget this because she wants in. So
Can I
she's
at
the one that
least
reminded me of it, and I
be
was
the
like, "Oh, I
fourth
do
rep?
remember that conversation." Yeah, you were
Kelly
feeling
Clarkson.
pretty good, buddy.
Oh, dude, yeah, because you were
Kelly
talking to
Clarkson.
Ruth.
Yes, yeah.
You don't remember this conversation?
Well, that's not.
Okay, Phil does not remember
He
that
does not
night.
remember that night.
Well, I remember, but
Because you
yeah.
were on like
I have a lot of
FaceTiming
conversations.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't remember this part?
Oh, we were doing it over FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
He doesn't remember
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I remember FaceTime.
And that's
because
why-
we were messing with you because we were all here and you'd left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a long time.
That's when we were gonna just wax my chest hair. It'll be fun.
Hmm.
Just-
Have you ever had a wax before?
no, but
This is
I'm tough.
going to be
so
serious.
can't hurt
Oh,
that good. Right.
I
What?
think the audience numbers are going to
Skyrocket. I hope so.
absolutely.
Oh, Jamie wants in too. Listen, everyone can be here. It's
We're gonna have
be
a
fun.
live audience that
You're
day.
good.
Yes.
And when he screams,
I'm not gonna scream.
Yes, you
no
are.
way. I'm ready for this. I
and
was
you'll
born
hear
for
the
this.
applause and the laughs. It'll be just like going to like a like the comedy store.
Like a comedy show.
Oh, there you go.
Comedy store. Yes.
Listen, I'm the man of the people, so I'll do whatever the people want. So if
You're
they
gonna
want-
lose your hair though. You're gonna lose your manliness.
That's right.
This is going to be amazing. Amazing. Is this happening next Sunday?
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
not next
We need
Sunday.
wax.
Who do we have next Sunday?
Oh,
You,
Jesse's
can
hair.
just have little pads, like buy them on Amazon, and it's just
Uh-huh.
like you heat them up in your hands and you put it down and go.
Oh,
It already has the wax on them.
That
So-
sounds terrifying.
Do
Actually, we
we-
don't have a guest lined up.
Oh,
So,
yes.
we could
Chest
do
hair.
that.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
do
not
it
gonna
next
say
Sunday.
that maybe next Sunday.
No, it
We'll
is
see.
happening next
No,
Sunday.
I'm not sure because I might need my chest hair.
You won't. It
Yeah,
grows back really
yeah,
quickly.
you're gonna need it.
I
For
might need
when?
it.
You're gonna need it.
You need to
for-
do it now for winter.
Well, I need it for winter. I need my chest hair.
You
for
don't-
it, so it keeps me warm.
You know, if you would go on the carnivore diet, it would grow back by winter.
Yeah, I don't
can't
want
do
to. I
it.
don't want to do the carnivore
My
diet.
beard
I'd
has
rather
never
get
been
my
thicker.
chest hair waxed than do the carnivore.
And that's what we're doing next
All right.
Sunday.
Well, you get to choose between the two.
I think we chose for him.
I don't know if it's happening next Sunday.
It
no,
is.
no guarantees.
We
It-
need wax.
It will happen in September, though. I promise.
Can you source some wax?
I will get some
All right,
wax.
so if Marianne sources wax, we'll jump them
It'll be sometime in
on
September.
air.
He's going to need to lay down though.
Why?
Because you have to put the wax on. And then
We don't want because it'll drip or what?
I think it will.
Listen,
drip.
just don't get my nipple, and I'll be happy.
That was what I was aiming to
No,
do.
no.
This is 2 weeks in a row. Do we talk about nipples every week?
Did we talk? Did
we
we talk
talk-
about it last Sunday?
Yeah,
nipples?
last Sunday, apparently we talked about nipple. Your mom reminded me because she was trying to find the story that we were telling about her.
Uh-huh.
And she goes, "Oh, you're talking about the Christmas card episode of Seinfeld."
Oh.
Oh, nipples.
And they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, is that a nipple?"
So I'm going for that Christmas card that we talked about last week. It's happening. Like,
That's why we got a wax for
It's
it.
gonna be. No, I'm gonna need the hair for that.
It'll come back by then.
Yeah, hope so. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So he's going to be shirtless on a bearskin rug.
Can't do it next Sunday. I have to work. I have to be there for that. Oh,
Oh,
there you go. My girlfriend ruined it.
No, Mary.
Damn, boo.
Mary's got your back. That's why she loves you.
Mary's got her RN duties. She's got to help deliver babies, take care of
Just
babies.
take PTO for next Sunday. Reason because my boyfriend's chest hair is going to be ripped out from him.
Need to be there for that.
Oh,
We
boy.
all do. Well, let's still work on it. Let's still talk about like it's going to happen.
Yeah, sure. I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll get this.
Do you want to just do it now?
I mean, we can like just grab a handful, right? Is that-
Do we have any tweezers? Tweezers.
do your worst.
Oh,
God.
man.
Podcast is getting weird.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I gotta go.
All right.
All right,
I gotta be a mom.
go do your mom duties.
Nice to see you. It was so nice to see you. And you better let us know when you come on back up here.
I for sure will. Definitely not the winter because you guys get pretty cold up there. But
It's awful. No, I heard it's gonna be a mild winter.
Who said?
I just heard.
Yeah.
Who
what?
says this?
Is this in the Farmer's Almanac?
Yes.
The Mayans predict this.
COVID
What's
has
going on?
decreased or increased the temperatures in winter.
I think it
what's
was.
a wild winter for you guys? Like not
Right.
0.
No,
Oh,
it'll still
yeah.
get below 0, but like below 0 for less than 10 days.
That'd be nice.
My winter is like 65, 60, maybe.
Like now.
Oh wow!
That's
Why
why I'm
don't
already
you
wearing a
just
scarf
rub
now.
it in?
Rub it in. Are you kidding? We don't get seasons. We get wet and dry.
Oh,
Well.
that still sounds so
She-
good.
I make
Bye,
no
Melissa.
comment.
Bye, boys. Don't wax anything. Do not wax
I'm
anything.
glad you were thinking the same thing I was thinking. Oh boy!
Oh, make sure you bang into the microphone a lot.
Knock that thing around
Just
a little
smack
bit.
the microphone.
Yeah, sneeze in it or something.
Melissa will love
I'm
that.
out.
Have
Bye.
you talked to any of the other boo?
Now my real woman's here.
Hold on. Hold on.
together.
Now Flat Marianne can take center stage.
There you go. Your girlfriend's gonna get jealous.
Yeah, she's gonna get a little jealous. Flat Marianne's thirsty. I give her drinks. This is what we do. This is our life. Oh boy! Get Marianne, just back off a little bit.
Well-
Mary's watching. So
What were you asking, Melissa?
If you've talked to any of the other boo crew,
Not as much as I'd like to. I hear from Marie every now and then. I love Marie.
love her.
And I talked to Gennaro a little bit. He's in for the podcast at some point. So we're gonna.
I need to be there too then.
He's got a lot of. And so he
Duo.
was, did you know that my office mate was his classmate in college?
Dang, what a small world.
Yeah. So that was so. I always kind of chirp back and forth between them. I'll take a video of her doing something silly and I'll send it to him, and so that's kind of fun. But I haven't heard, just only a little bit from everybody, and it's partly my fault. I'm really not very good at, as you're aware, keeping in touch with people. So as much as I really liked that group and I'd like to keep in touch with them, I'm not good at it.
I know. I have a group chat with some of the nurses, but I mean, I haven't heard. Keisha's in Texas. I know that.
Okay.
And then I haven't heard from Marie or like Bill. I don't know what he's up.
Bill. Where's Bill?
Yeah, or Nicole. So many
Well-
people.
I think Nicole's still in Ohio.
Is she okay? She went back. Oh yeah, she hated leaving her babies.
Yeah.
And then I feel like Bill would have just kept traveling. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I know he was looking for what the next place was going to be. So I'd be interested. Bill, let us know where you are.
Mm-hmm. You're watching.
Everybody, if you're in the Boo Crew, let us know where you are.
Beth is in Austin. I think that's it. That's all I know of.
Beth has a lot of personality.
I love her so much. She's such a mama, such a mush ball, but then so
Did she bring her? She didn't bring her kids to New York, did she?
no.
She usually brings her kids with her wherever she goes. I think.
I'm not sure. I don't know if she's ever traveled before, but she's just like so sweet and loving. And then she'd always be like, the only time you'll see me get mad is if you mess with my mama, my money, or my family. She has this like heavy accent from Alabama. She's the best.
It is. And she'd never been away from her family. I know she said that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know who you're thinking of? You're thinking of Trish. Trish had her daughter in New York.
Well, Trish, no, I was thinking of Beth, but yeah, I know Trish's daughter lived in New York, so that was nice that she got to visit a little bit while she was there.
Okay.
Her daughter is like a model,
like a top model.
Awesome,
like a good one,
like a good,
like she's in run.
like not a bad one, a good one.
Yeah.
And then she's like, her boyfriend is someone famous in New York. I don't know his name though. Sam.
He's
something.
famous?
He's famous. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wonder if he's like New York City famous or like
Gennaro. No, like Gennaro is the one who brought that up. He was like, yeah, he's Sam something. That I don't know. Sam, what's his name? Sam? I forget. But he's like, he makes music and he's very well known in New York. Gennaro knew him and he thought it was super cool that Trisha's daughter was dating him.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
She has an interesting family. She was a rising tennis star, and I think like that was a family thing.
What? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. And I don't think she plays anymore, but when she was growing up, they used to go to all the different tournaments and stuff.
Well, you want to hear something interesting? I forgot.
Does it involve your mom slapping the shit out of you?
No, it was a dream I had last night, and I woke up mad at Mary because of the dream. So she got like what's the word? It was like an arranged marriage to Hunter Biden. I don't know why I had that dream.
Jesus.
So it was like she got married to Joe Biden's son, and I go, "Really, Mary?" I'm like, and it was the weirdest dream I've ever had in my life. I went to bed watching the news, so it was probably like I was flipping back from CNN, Fox News, like just watching it all, doing my thing for the podcast today, and yeah, I had that dream, and I was like, and you didn't care. Like she's just like, she's happy. She's like, well, he does have money, so why would I care? So that's where Mary's love lies. With Hunter Biden's money. So.
Yeah, and if you want to hear,
we're still mad.
If you want to help make that happen,
don't go to
BidenForFreedom.com.
BidenForFreedom.com.
Everybody go to BidenForFreedom.com and make a huge donation.
Yeah, I did actually, and I was so confused at first, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Did you went to it?
Yeah, because you put it on Facebook, and I was like, this doesn't sound like Phil, and then I was like, oh, this is Phil.
Yeah, so go to BidenForFreedom.com.
What a weird dream, man. That was strange.
That is weird.
That was weird.
I don't have.
Mary was happy though, I think, in my dream at least.
Was she happy when you told her about your dream?
Yeah, but then she's like, "What will my father think?" Because he's like a Republican, so her dad would not be happy if she got married to Joe Biden's son. So, yeah.
Some of my friends were in here the other night, and they were having conversation, and the one was telling a story about one of his relatives was pregnant, and everybody at this party, there was like a baby shower or something. They were all trying to guess whether it was going to be a boy or a girl, and he said it, and it got around to me, and I said, well, I don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl, but I do know it's going to be a Republican. And then okay. I kind of laughed, and I was like, oh. And then I introduced them to Joe Jorgensen. And they're like, oh, we don't know who that is. Okay. I've never heard that name.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't say it. And they were like, I'm sorry, I got to tell you, like, I've never heard of them.
Huh.
And I said, well, yeah, she's a presidential candidate. She's on the ballot in all 50 states. And I kind of said, like, she's for freedom. Whatever. Like, I don't like, if you want to know what she stands for, it's pretty simple. Like you take any issue and you think what would be the way to make that so that people would have more freedom. And and that's what it is. And they seem to like that. So
that's cool. So Melissa, down there, what is like Tampa Bay? Like, is that, would you say it's more Democrat, Republican leaning? Which way is it down there? Like up here, of course, where we live it's red, some small town style. So
yeah. And honestly, like Florida is a swing state supposedly, but all the metropolitan areas and like cities are Democrat, and then you like go 30 miles inland and it's like Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So for example, my contract was like 30 minutes from here in a place called Lakeland. Oh my gosh, that was like MAGA hats when they were getting started. I'm like,
God.
I'm just kidding.
Can't see me.
But yeah, they're definitely much like that. And it's funny because like at the same time we had a big like Hispanic population coming through that area. So I was like, I wonder if there's like a rivalry going on here.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it? I mean, my perception is that from the people that I know, that people who are Cuban descent are very much Republican leaning.
Yes, that is very.
And then the other Hispanics are not.
Oh, it like infuriates me.
A high percentage of Latino like men voted Republican last year. Yeah.
I would like to know where they're from because they're either Puerto Rican or Cuban, and honestly, it all stems from Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico is obviously part of the United States, so they're American, and and Cubans had up until I think it was 2014, they had the wet foot, dry foot policy.
Right.
Well, they actually don't know what real immigration is and the process that goes behind it, and it kind of makes it like they like think they're like better or like on a different level than other immigrants because it's like, oh, I'm not an immigrant, I'm American.
Yeah.
And you kind of like
I wish immigration wasn't a wedge issue.
It is. And actually I was having a conversation with one of my friends about this. I was like, I wonder if as we make more money, if our views will change. But I just think that like until there is a huge immigration reform, and especially if DACA is still on the table, like I will never change my views until something with that happens. Because I feel like very much in the middle. Like I do agree with a lot of like Republican views and like the way they see things. And then like when you bring immigration into it, I like swing back. So it's just hard. But
I thought we kind of lined up on a lot of things.
I know. That's why I loved talking to you about things. And you had a very different perspective. And ever since then, honestly, like the more research I do, the more I really kind of align with like libertarians, like in most things. Some things I need to do more research, I guess. But you definitely gave me like a different perspective on politics.
Yeah.
That's something that that's a big problem is that you had a conversation with me and then you were like, oh wait, there's this other thing and I agree with it. And it's like kind of lines up with what I thought all along. And there are a lot of people out there who kind of discover libertarian ideas and they thought, oh, well, I always, I'm a Republican and like, I agree with 80% of what they say, but then I'm with the Democrats on this other stuff. And then I have to explain to them that there's this whole different angle that never gets talked about in the mainstream media and that won't get mentioned by the two major parties because they don't want that. They don't want that to be highlighted.
Yeah, I think, and it's good that like even Melissa herself here, she's talking, she likes to look at things from both sides. I wish more people would look at things from both sides rather than since you're that you agree with this. It's nice when you can say, oh, well, this is good and this is good. I'm a registered Republican, definitely not a libertarian. I don't, some things I don't agree with them, don't agree with, but no matter what, I'll vote whoever, don't care. The only reason I registered instead of an independent was because I couldn't vote in the primaries.
Right.
That was it, which kind of sucks. that, if you're registered one or the other, if you're registered independent, you can't vote in the primary. So they like force you to pick a side.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is actually like the first time I'm voting. So,
Really? Awesome.
Yeah, because I want to say like, not ignorant, but I just didn't feel like I had like an educated vote. So I kind of like just stayed away from it. And it's just so much more than just voting for a president. There's so much more that you vote on, and I never looked into any of that. So now I feel like I've really like done my research and tried to educate myself as much as possible. So I'll be voting in this election.
Your local politics
That's
are
what I was gonna
really
say.
are really going to have the biggest effect
Yeah.
on your day-to-day life
Personally.
too. So
Everyone needs to really get out there and fix their local legislation if they have problems with what's going on in their community. It's not the president that makes this certain community bad, because a lot of times different communities. So, I mean, I was watching this ad and they were showing like how one community 15 minutes away from another is really poor, but it's ran by a certain kind of government. And then the other one's thriving, even though they're both in the same situation, same place, same everything. It's just bad government. I mean, so you can always switch your local legislation and fix things. So, yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people don't vote for in the local. I'm surprised how many people don't show up to vote
And
local.
a lot of people don't run. I mean, we've
Right.
got a local election coming up in 2 weeks, and they are running unopposed.
Yeah,
Well, why don't you run?
that's what I said.
I would definitely. I think
I don't have
like shake things up, Phil. I think that American.
I'm definitely a shakeup, that's for sure. That's a
What would your like slogan be?
It's Rahr.
vote for Rahr, better by far.
Yes.
Yes. Oh man, there's so many fun ones we could do.
It's
There's
so
gonna be
weird.
fun ones with Phil.
I don't want to get into the
Oh.
Phil ones. They sound
so
really
There's only one.
that could get out of hand.
Wait, you could do like a Matrix one, like take the red pill, vote Phil. It's like you could like do like something like that. It's like get woke,
but that
right?
that gives the idea that I'm a Republican.
It have to be green. Take the green pill, and they'll be like, "What?" And like, yeah,
That'd
it's different.
No, it's
Yeah.
the gold pill. It's the gold pill.
There you
Vote Phil.
I don't
Oh
know.
God, yes.
I don't know. No.
Let me be your campaign manager. Come on, I'm ready for this.
Maybe
I was born
someday.
for this.
Maybe some. I don't know. Probably the things that I say on the podcast will bar me from ever holding public office anyway.
No, come on. I mean, no, come on.
Where president is right now, clearly not true.
That's not true, Phil.
I'm gonna get canceled.
We may get canceled.
We're gonna get canceled.
I'm surprised we haven't been canceled yet.
I know. Cancel culture.
Yeah.
Hashtag. Probably.
The fact that I was petting a 3D or a flat Marianne on camera and we survived. So, yeah, we're doing good.
And this podcast is brought to you by
Did you
Zip Recruiter?
talking about giving some free advertisement? Have you seen all the stuff that Laurentide has lined up for next month?
Is it incidental music?
Lots of incidental music, lots of lots of fun things going on. It looks like they have a full schedule. So
Melissa, there's a while I was with you, they opened up a brand new brewery in town, and I love it. And it's in like a carriage house, so they open up the garage doors and they make all the beer on site, and it's really awesome. And they're so forward thinking. They've just got like really good, and really all the breweries here do.
Yeah.
In the we have really great local businesses, and they just are adding to it in a really great way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot going on up here. I think any of your boo crew that comes up to the Finger Lakes, I guarantee they'll be back again.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no way they'll just come one time.
I love that. Well, Phil, your Airbnb better be ready by then, so I can stay in it.
I know. I gotta buy a place. If I buy that place, it'll be big enough I can set up bunks for the whole boo crew.
Yes.
Boy.
That's
cool.
the ultimate reunion.
It'll be a hostel instead of an Airbnb.
After the age of 30, I don't think you should sleep on bunk beds.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it should be. You ever tried to get out of a bunk bed when you were young? Like, think of the dangers.
Jesse's not 30 yet, so he doesn't really
I got
speak
2
from
years.
experience in any
Yeah.
way.
I got 2 years, so I'm still allowed on a bunk bed.
Yeah.
And I don't even feel safe getting off a bunk bed at this point. So, I mean, come on. I had a bunk bed as a child. Lots of injuries happened
What
because
about-
of that.
You did? I did too, and I never got hurt.
No, you didn't. I guess you didn't horse ass around enough, but there was a lot of horse assing around on the bunk beds that caused trouble.
How do you guys feel about hammocks?
Love them.
Because the thing with hammocks is, I could have 20 hammocks, and when we're not using them, just hang them up against the wall,
Yeah.
and they don't take up any space, and then there's plenty of room for guests.
But have you ever fallen asleep drunk in a hammock?
100 times it, like
Up in it.
I slept exclusively in a hammock for like 3 years.
I almost died drunk in a hammock. I didn't think I was ever going to get unwrapped again. Like, I was so tangled. I was like, you know what? This is my life. I'm just going to be the hammock kid. Like, that's just not, I'm just going to be stuck in this fucking thing. I can't get out. Seriously, it took me 15 minutes to get out of the hammock. It was not good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Why did you sleep in a hammock for 3 years?
Like 2 years ago.
And the reasoning behind that was you just
They're
like
They're super comfortable. Yeah. I
that
slept better in that hammock than anything.
Do you think it's bad for your back?
No, I think it's really good for your back.
Interesting.
You have the thing is
It's
there's
not
a
very good posture.
No, it is. The thing is that there's a specific technique, and there's a vibrant hammock community. And sorry, I know.
Vibrant.
I saw your eye roll. But there's a vibrant hammock community, and there are a lot of tips to actually sleeping in a hammock the right way. And it's all about the angle of the sag of the hammock.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you got to do is you lay diagonal in the hammock. And if you go diagonal, it lays perfectly flat and it supports you evenly. And it's really nice.
I can't get on board with this.
There's certain
Only
things
a night in a hammock, so I don't know how I'd feel about it.
I just can't get on board into the
best.
hammock.
And when I'm hoping to get big into backpacking again. I haven't been for the past couple of years, but I'm hoping to get back into it. And one of the things that made backpacking really attractive to me was that I made it simpler by I got this giant tarp and a hammock and this like blanket that goes under the hammock.
Okay.
And like that makes a super light, super compact camping setup. So it made it a lot easier. I could hike a lot further without having to carry a ton of weight, and I could sleep comfortably, and it made a big difference. It was really nice. So I can attest that hammock sleeping is awesome.
All right. If you say so, Phil. We'll
I'll have to try it out.
It would be fun. I mean, yeah, so I'll set up like 20 hammocks in the house that I buy.
check back in 30 years and let's see how Phil's back is. And then we'll decide how good hammock sleeping is. That's the only way.
My back's better than it ever has been right now.
That's the carnivore
It's
diet
the
you said,
carnivore.
though.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Everything as far as how I feel is better now than it has been since at least college.
Dang.
And partly I lost 40 pounds, and partly I think just there's like a lower level of inflammation and things like that.
Was there a shock factor when people saw you again?
Yeah, I actually had somebody pull over on the side of the road yesterday. They saw me out biking, and they pulled over to the side of the road, and he was like, "Phil, I love your new look."
Aw.
So he's like, "This is awesome." So yeah, a lot of people were surprised when they saw Skinny Phil.
You were like definitely the only person that like lost weight working in New York.
I'm the only person that lost weight in the past 6 months, probably. I mean, I lost weight during a pandemic when everybody was told that their gym was shut down and they had to stay home.
Well, you and whoever's the meeting
Someone's
Facebook group.
probably Mary
Sorry, go ahead.
trying to get me
What'd you
out
say?
of here.
Oh, I said that probably just you and whoever's in the meeting Facebook group.
Oh, the meeting place.
The meeting place.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Should I go up and lock it, or do you think
You should
we're gonna
probably-
head out soon?
We can probably head out soon.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll wrap this up in the next couple minutes, and then I'll have plenty of opportunities to talk to Melissa.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, bring me back. This was fun.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Maybe we'll bring in somebody else too. Maybe Gennaro. I'll let you pick.
I picked Gennaro.
We got to get Marie on here sometime.
You should do
I'd
one
love to have Latasha.
with just you and the Boo crew.
You don't want to be on it?
Well, it's just like because it's hard, it's your stories. I would like to watch it. It'd be fun.
You didn't like?
No.
This went well.
It is. It's good, but no,
You
should get like 4 or 5 and I want to hear the stories because that would be fun. Yeah, I mean, I'll sit here and listen, but I think it'll be cool.
You contribute.
Okay, all right, I'll try. I'll do my best.
I can't do it without my It's Rare crew.
It's Rare. That's right.
We would Keisha because she's so funny,
Oh, she's hilarious.
and Marlene, but you might not be able to completely understand her. She needs subtitles.
That's okay. We have subtitles. If you watch this on, I'm not sure if we have subtitles on Facebook, but I know we have them on YouTube.
Cool.
It's so funny because I really have been able to adapt to Marlene. So now on the group chats, she says something and people are so confused, and I'm like, yeah, this is what she meant.
Yeah, and when she does Marlene, so Marlene is the one that started the Boo thing,
Mm-hmm.
and she's Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thick accent, but I can understand her now too. She does Facebook Lives 3 times a day. She goes on Facebook Live. She's like, "Yeah, I'm downtown Brooklyn, and this is." I don't want to do any more of that.
Fabulous. I seriously recommend everyone and anyone to watch her lives. It's such a show. She's like, we're down here in New York City, the city that never sleeps, but it's sleeping right now, but it's coming awake.
She's got so much soul. She's got
She used to be a pretty big watcher. She used to watch the podcast a lot, didn't
Marlene?
she? Was it Marlene?
I don't think Marie.
Oh, Marie was
Marie watches
okay.
it. She still does. I don't think she's here today, but she definitely watched last week.
Marie.
And maybe she'll catch us later.
Yeah,
but no, our friend Marlene, we got to get her on sometime, and then see if our listeners can pick up what she's putting down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be her translator. Yeah, this is what she meant. Or they're texting her because she asks you a question and you don't know if she's asking you a question or a statement because she doesn't use question marks.
Right. She just ends with boo. Boo is her punctuation. It's her only punctuation is the word boo.
Okay.
That's how you know she's finished.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. And then she'll be like, gang, gang.
And then Nicole was really getting with George. George was the guy in charge of the cleaning crew, which was super important. I gave a lot of credit to the cleaning crew that went in and did what they did there. That was really brave. But he would always teach Nicole. She was always into learning the lingo for the city because she's not really a New York City person either. So she'd be like, "Yeah, it's brick." I still don't know what brick means. She'd say gang gang and brick and I don't know, some other things.
There's some things that I say. I guess we have a big New York population here in Tampa, which we do. I just didn't realize that the lingo transfers because I say dead ass a lot.
Dead ass. Oh, she loves dead ass.
Yeah, and so Gennaro's you've been here way too long. I've said that all my life. Or
that's a upstate New York thing. Dead
is
ass.
it?
Everyone says
People
that.
say dead ass here. Yeah.
It's big time.
Dead ass serious.
Yeah.
Right.
Or New York claps or something like that.
You get the clap.
Yeah. If you say something and it's good, they're like, "Oh, that claps."
Oh, I've never.
I don't think I heard that one.
Maybe I'm not even right,
but I don't know.
I am though. It's that's good. You clap for it.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
so it claps in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never heard it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is going to have to be all for today's podcast. Thanks, everybody who joined in. Make sure that you like and share It's Rare. we are going to have Melissa back sometime.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on.
Guys, so fun catching up.
This was awesome.
Thank you.
And
You're awesome.
see you next Sunday.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.